Hey guys, how are you? Well, it's Friday night and I am heading into the big city to make run some errands and make a couple stops to buy a couple things. Got to go to the bookstore, got to go to the man's store to buy a tool I need, and what else? Got to buy some parts for the Dodge truck, and then might go get something to eat. I'm kind of hungry, so yeah, that's what's on the docket for tonight. I know it looks like we're out in the middle of nowhere here, and we actually are. We're on our way to Huntsville, and it's pretty dark out here. There's not much out in this area at all. So I got some guy back there behind me in one of those damn moving vans or something's got his high beams on. It's been frying my eyes out with that. I finally got away from him. But it's rolling right along here. So, yep, gonna carry you along with me on my Friday night out here, and I'll pick back up in a minute. See ya. Well, on our journey, we go through a few of these little one-horse towns, and this is the first one we get to. This one's called Noho, Noho. Sorry about that. But anyway, it's not much to it. It's one of these little places with a big traffic light, and speed drops down to 55 miles an hour from 65, and they've basically got nothing going for them. The town's over to the right over here. It's just a little one-horse little place with most of the buildings are empty. If you live in New Hope, I'm sorry, but this is it for the most part. A few gas stations. Got the gas station over there. Piggly Wiggly store. Dollar General, I think this is up here, and the Hardee's and that kind of stuff. There's the pig over there. Yeah. Any place that's any worthwhile at all, it's even got anybody here breathing, has a Dollar General down in this state. So, here it is. Yay. Of course, like most of these places down here, they had definitely made sure they have 2 or 3 police cars that they get out here and run on the highway all the time to get the revenue collected. So, yeah. Alright. A few miles further on, we're coming into the next one-horse town. And this one may not even be a one-horse. It may be about a half-horse, because it's not even enough to rate a Dollar General. It does have a gas station and a traffic light, and the requisite 2 or 3 police cars that they drive out here and try to nab speeders with. But essentially, this is just a place you try to ignore on your way to going somewhere else. Here's the gas prices here. Well, you can see this, I hope. The hell's your problem? So yeah, this place is so small, the welcome to and now leaving sign is on the same post. Oh yeah, you know I mentioned my friend Jason. Well, you know where Jason's at tonight? He's at home with John Madden. Wow, this looks blurry. This is called Hampton Cove, and this has grown wildly over the past 10, 15 years. There's a Walmart to the left here, and then we just passed the Publix over here. A lot of stuff growing up. There's a Lowe's here. And like I said, up to about 20 years ago, this was another one. This wasn't even a town. It was just a community. They had a big, like a cotton gin back there at the intersection. And I remember it distinctly. There was just nothing here, man. It's out in the middle of nowhere, but this place has really grown. Alright, we got over the top of the mountain here. This is called Monterey Mountain. Check out this view to the left over here, if you can see. Head down there. You can see that. You know, my parents both worked at Redstone Arsenal, and they drove this for years and years and years, every day. reflect on it, it's sometimes really amazing what your parents do to make sure their kids have a good upbringing, a good life. We had a good upbringing. We weren't rich, but we had anything we wanted, and it was not perfect, but you know, they were good people, and they did what it took to make sure we, like I said, had what we needed. This is about 30 miles from home, and that's what they drove 65, 70 miles round trip every day, 5 days a week, for years and years until they both retired. So, you know, sometimes if you don't take the time to think about what your parents do for you, you need to, you ought to, because you may realize that they do a lot, and they've done a lot. So, okay, back on the road. All right, over the mountain into town. So, make a turn here. This is the access road to the Parkway. It's called Memorial Parkway. We got a lot of people out tonight. This is kind of a hairy little interchange right here. There's always people trying to get out, like you saw that guy, and then I have to get over and get on the Parkway. So, not really gonna be paying any attention to this camera. I'm gonna watch the road, but this Parkway, give you a brief history, has been here since about 1956. Yep, so there we go. Yep. See this guy? Why do I always end up being the person that lets everybody over? I don't get it, you know? Go on, you can do it.
Well, you know, this is the first time I've ever been to Huntsville. I don't know which lane to be in, and I don't know how to read the signs, and I don't know how to read Google Maps or anything else. I'm just out here wandering around.
Yeah, fool. We're going to get off of here onto the other access road, and then we're going to get on. We want to turn on University. So I need to be in the far, well, middle lane if this guy doesn't run over me back here. I always get a laugh down here. You see this sign, I hope you can read it. Metro Spy Supply. I always think of that. It used to be in Mad Magazine. I used to read when I was a kid. They used to have the Spy versus Spy. It was White Spy and versus Black Spy. That's my detector that just, they've laid this stuff out kind of stupidly here. I have to get over in front of these people to turn. I don't know what, but anyway, White Spy versus Black Spy, that was always fascinating. Here we are, Books A Million. I'm going to go in and get my train magazines. I buy these about once a month. I guess I really should get a subscription, but maybe later. Get them parked over here. If you sift back through some of my videos, you'll find one that's called the water fountain at the mall, like 1994. This is what remains of the mall. This used to be, this is, well, it's Books A Million now, but it used to be, this was a, you want to look up real quickly on the internet, you can Google the mall, that was the name of it, Huntsville, Alabama, and it'll show you what this place looked like, but it stretched way on down there, and it was an internal mall. It had an internal hallway. It also had some stores that opened out to the outside here, so they tore that down about 10 years ago, I guess it was, and built a, I don't know, Costco and some other stuff here. So and this is the only part of it still left, so it still smells the same way it used to back then too. Yeah, alright, I'm back. Well, it sure is nice out. It's about 58 degrees. It's gonna be nice all weekend until Monday, and then Monday we're just gonna freeze our ass off. It's gonna be down to 26 degrees. I don't know what's with this camera. But you know, it was funny. I used to come in here when I was younger and I would read for hours in here, leave everything for free. And now, since I've got older, I guess I'm just like everybody. When you get older, I have more to do, and I just run in and run out and get what I need. And there used to be 2 of these Books Millions here in this city, but the other one closed a couple months ago, and that ain't good. But random old man. I don't like this because this is not turned into a thoroughfare right here. And this old man, I don't know, I hope he's not going to back out. I don't know where they're going. Costco? I think he's going to, thank you. That's nice of him. He let me out. So. Alright, we're going to get back out on University. Hey, caught the light. How about that? No big deal. So here we go. And we're going to travel down here a few miles to the next stop. And we'll catch up with you then. Okay, we're getting into the vicinity of the next stop. If I can remember how to get into this place. Yeah, here it is. There used to be a pizza restaurant here. We used to eat that all the time. I sure miss that place. Oh, man. Look at all this damn traffic. I might have to think of something to talk about now for a little while. Well, that place is, the pizza place's name was Mr. Gaddy's, and it used to be like right here on the left. And my friend and I, we used to go there and pig out like once a week. And he started gaining a lot of weight. I never did, but he did. He got up like 330 pounds. So about the time Mr. Gaddy's closed up for good, he had bariatric surgery. So he lost some weight finally. Here we go. Ah, one of my favorite places. This building here, oh man, get out of the way, will ya? This building looks familiar to some of you techies. It ought to. It used to be a Circuit City before they moved and subsequently closed up. So I hope this place isn't about to close. I wonder how late is Harbor Freight open. Okay, here we are. Well, they're not closed. It's only 7 and they don't close till 9. I don't know what I was thinking. I'll show you what I bought here. This is get it out of here. This is spit it out, Tyler. It's a dial back timing light. No, you can't really see very much of it, but it's got the dial in the back and all that. And I'll be making a video how to use this thing. You see here it's timing advanced tester. You can read that if you want to, but essentially what a dial back timing light does is it allows you to check the total advance of your distributor. A timing light that just has just a plain light and all that, it's okay for checking base timing, but this is good for checking your total time in advance. And I'll show you guys how to do that. I know some of you haven't ever got into that. And I don't know, I may have to buy a camera pretty soon. I'm noticing this camera's doing some strange things. I don't know if you just saw that about 30 seconds ago, but this thing's been making little blips across the screen. So, and then every once in a while the viewfinder goes white, but it still records. So I don't know, I have to buy another damn camera. You know, I was telling you about how things smell. This car smells a lot like a fairly new Holiday Inn Express, I think. It smells pretty good in here. I'm kind of picky about that. I don't like cars that smell bad. I don't like people who have messy cars. Well, no, let me rephrase that. I don't like being in folks' messy cars. Yeah, it's kind of been proved to me that the condition of the inside of a person's car is usually a pretty good barometer of how clean or messy of a person they are. You know, that doesn't reflect badly on somebody, but it's just kind of true, though. I found that out. Because you go from their house into their car, and it's basically like you start seeing that the car is an extension of the house. Yeah, for better or for worse. All right, let's get going. Is everybody having fun? I was watching a concert on the internet one night, and this guy asked that. I just got done with a song, and he says, "Yeah," he says, "everybody having good times? Everybody having fun?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "We'll soon change that." You ever notice it seems like in each one of my car driving videos, there's always something falling over or falling off? I wonder if there's hidden meanings in that. I made a video one time. I drove around at night, and like during the whole video, stuff fell over or fell off, and you guys had to guess what it was by the sound of it. Clunkavision. If you think I come up with some crazy stuff on my own, you ought to listen to one of my friends with me, whoever it may be. I'm all the time going on and on about crazy stuff, just laughing, having a good time. I don't get to do stuff with my friends much anymore. I got a bunch of boring friends. They all want to be home and never have any money or blah, 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 that kind of crap. I don't go out as much as I used to do things, but I like being out, traveling, seeing things. Alright, we're taking a ride on Jordan Lane here. I keep saying all that, telling you where we're at, because I don't know if you guys do this, but when I watch people's videos when they're out driving around, I love to try to figure out where they're at, especially if they're not saying where they're at. If I may know what city they're in, but I actually can usually watch somebody's videos enough, and I can tell where they're at, even if they don't say where they live. I can tell what town they're in just by the clues. It's like a game of Clue, I guess. I know where you're at. I know where you sleep. Jerry Lee Lewis one time had a song. It was called "It'll Be Me." It was very early in his career, and you ought to listen to it. It should be on YouTube somewhere. But he's got one little through the whole song. I guess he's like stalking this woman, and he goes through and says all these things that they sound hilarious, but he said, if you see this or whatever, it's going to be him. It's like he says something like, if you see something on the lamppost bright, it'll be me, and I'll be looking for you. And then the funniest one is he says, if you see a lump in your sugar bowl, it'll be me, and I'll be looking for you. He's crazy, man. Read a road sign, there's another clue. This guy up here is from Lone Star State, Texas. Alright, don't you come over on me, asshole. I don't know why people do that. This is my pet peeves in driving, is folks will not stay like when the confines of the line. They'll get their damn car like right over on the edge, and it's like, oh, I may come over on you. I might. Wait and see. They do that, or when they're waiting to pull out from a side street. You ever notice that you get closer to somebody, it's like they don't want to wait on you, but they have to, and they start edging their car out, and then they stop again. You're like, well, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna pull out in front of me? I saw one of those blips again. I'm not looking in the camera, I'm looking at the road. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. I bet everybody behind me thinks I've got one of those Garmin things. This little screen is what it looks like. Alright, if you want to know where we're at now, we're at the intersection of Bob Wallace Avenue and Jordan Lane, which turns into Patton Road here now, going ahead. So we're turning left on Bob Wallace. We're right next to Dave Gibson's Barbecue, next to Holiday Foods. I'm just gonna leave the camera running. Why not? I'm sure I can think of something to talk about. There used to be a really good Mexican restaurant straight down the way down here, but it closed up. And you can't see it, but kind of going on down Patton straight ahead here, this goes to the gate of the Arsenal, one of the gates to the Arsenal. The Arsenal is ahead of us, essentially. I just saw somebody run across the road up here. Alright, we're on Bob Wallace. You hear that clunk, and I don't know what that is. I had this front end apart like 2 or 3 times, and the only thing I can think of is the struts, maybe. What's the speed limit? 40? Yeah. Slow down a little bit, I guess. It'll be me, yeah, and I'll be looking for you, babe. It's a good car, but I noticed it's starting to get some like sympathetic vibrations, like resonance and things like that. Like something in the dashboard resonates a little bit, and then sometimes something on the back deck back there resonates. Depends on how fast I go. So it's all depending on what speed I'm at. If I'm at, if I want the dash to vibrate, I'll go a certain speed, and if I want the back end to vibrate, I'll go another speed, I guess. I thought about going into this place. It's called the Nook. Over 250 beers and no smoking. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not much of a drinker at all, and I don't go drink and drive, so I'd have to like stay out over here somewhere I could walk to. But it just has an appeal to me, I guess. I don't know, I guess I like to try different things. That beer I got in the refrigerator, that stuff's pretty rank. I don't like it that well. I think I've drank 1 or 2 bottles out of it. There's a drugstore over there. Boy, you guys gotta be hardcore to be staying with me through this. Yep. What are we coming up to here? There's a college over here. Can't see much of it, but this is just one of those streets that's got a lot of stuff on it, but there's nothing really worth looking at. Just a lot of business things here. But we are getting close to the 3rd stop, so Lincoln dealership. You guys notice on the footage of that dictator over there in North Korea, you know his funeral car was a Lincoln Continental. Somebody said on a comment, they said, oh, here we are, by the way. They said they hate us, but they love our way of life, and that's exactly right. Alright, here's the next place, the next man stop. Alright, see you guys. Okay, I got out from the building there before I turned the camera on because that man was standing there looking at me. Probably wondering what the hell I was doing. A freaking video camera. Look at that building over there, that's kind of a 60s building. You know, I've talked about getting the Trains magazines and these architecture things, and like I said before, I guess I've alluded to it, there's a few things I have a lot of interest in that I've never really devoted much YouTube time to, so that's probably going to change. The railroad thing, I love railroads and trains, but where I live down there, we have railroad service, but it's infrequent, and there's just not a good spot to really do much rail fanning. But I've got a lot of ideas for stuff on the architecture of the old buildings, things like that. As a matter of fact, this used to be an old hotel. pretty nice when they've changed it into a business center type thing. But I was going to tell you real quick, I'm not going to film all this driving right now, but what I wanted to tell you was that store I just left, that apart store, I don't know if you guys have ever heard about it, but some of these places, they always have what's called a hub store in each district. They have more than one, but they have at least one. I guess I need to get off here. It's kind of pointless, wasn't it? Hang on, I gotta watch the road here. Anyway, they have what's called a hub store, and that's a store that's got like all the best selection of parts. It has the most of it. So if you got something that's maybe not that common, the hub store is always the most likely choice to have it. So this is the one for around here. Well, I think let's see, I think Albertville, the store I go to in Albertville is a hub store, and we're talking about the O'Reillys. It's a hub store, and this one here I just went to on Jordan Lane, and on Bob Wallace, it's a hub store. So if I'm ever over here to buy something, there's a couple more O'Reillys, but I usually go to this one to get stuff. And what I bought was valve cover gaskets for that Dodge Ram, the new one. I got a set of nice valve covers I'm going to put on it, so we're going to be doing that. We'll be putting shock us and rain tomorrow. I'm going to do some work on that truck tomorrow. Yeah, this camera, I don't know. Kind of worrying me. When this Parkway, we're back on the Parkway, by the way. We're down south of where we got on the first time. We're heading the other direction. We're at wait a minute, correction. We're at Airport Road. So named because the airport used to be over there. Not anymore. But when this Parkway was built, it actually, you see we're going to go under an overpass. And you probably saw one when I turned back there, and I went over several. This Parkway did not have all these overpasses. It actually had these at-grade intersections. And so it's really, when it was built, it was not a limited access highway, and they've got it turned into one now, as they had to go back and build all these overpasses. And believe it or not, 60 years after this thing opened up, they're still finishing up the last overpasses. Go figure. I think that the people that design and build highways got a lot of what the rednecks call it. They say they got a lot of book sense, but they don't have a lot of common sense. I told you about the Books Million closing. This is where the other one was. Over there. Isn't that exciting, looking at a closed store? We're heading up airport. We're heading east on Airport Road. This is where, if you Google 1989 Huntsville tornado, it came right down this road here. And it tore a bunch of crap up. It tore this church up over here. This is Trinity United Methodist Church here on the right. Huntsville's got slammed by a few tornadoes. I went through the one in 1974. I was actually in that one. My dad had a 72 Corvette at the time, and it had a busted window. And we were in either that car or another one, but it was pretty rough. We escaped injury. We didn't get injured or anything, luckily. I got to change hands here. Do that. Overdrive off. I always keep my overdrive off on the hills and stuff like this, because it's hard on transmission to be shifting in and out of overdrive when you're on a grade. Alright, one more time. My brother, bless his heart, he's got a car just like this. I don't know if I told you guys that, but he's got a green one. same year and everything, Miles Protege. And it's got a lot less miles on it. Mine's got about, I think this one looks like it's got 188,000. His has only got about 130,000. But first day or two he had that, I talked to him on the phone, asked him how he liked it, and he liked it okay, he said. But he said, where's the overdrive off button at? I said, it's right on the shifter. Yeah, well, he couldn't find it, I guess. Of course, he just came out of a Cadillac. So Cadillacs don't have overdrive off buttons like that, I guess. Maybe they do, but there's probably something that turns it off and on for you in a Cadillac. Who knows? We're now on, I think this is Carl T. Jones. It's getting hot in here. I didn't turn the heat down, I guess. That's something weird about this car. I notice that the heat works a lot better when I'm going like about 40 miles an hour. When I speed up like 60, it works fine, but it's not as hot. As you guys can tell, I never run out of anything to talk about. Imagine if I dated somebody, man. I'd talk her ears off probably. Alright, I've been making a big decision where to eat supper at, and I think I'm just going to go simple this time around. Oh, where'd I turn in at? Right here. Ain't going to eat there. They're always too full, and plus they're kind of high. Well, I don't know. Let's see how full the parking lot is. It's not that full. It is kind of full, I guess. There's Dick's. If you go back through my videos, look at that one. It's called Rules of Attraction Dinner Theater Scene or something like that. That's got the funniest thing in there about this guy. He's trying to tell his mom that his name is Dick. His name's actually Richard, but he says, my name's not Richard. And she says, what is it? He says, Dick. She says, what? He says, Dick. He says, you heard me. It's Dick. I think if my name was Richard, I don't think I'd want to be called Dick. Not unless my first name was Big. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Couldn't help it. I think that's where I'm going. See, there's a lot of people in there, but there's always a chair, so it's not like I don't have a place to sit. Because I hate waiting in line. Sometimes I go to Outback and eat, but it's on a Sunday night because that's the slowest one. Oh, here we are. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for riding along with me. I hope I didn't bore you too much. This is just a night out on Friday night. That's what we do when we're middle-aged and we're not out drinking and trying to hit on some nasty woman we shouldn't be looking at and all that good stuff. Or not home with the kids and the wife if you're married. So I'm not going to film any more of this because I've got a long video now. So I may break this up into two parts because I kind of realize that people start tuning out after a certain period of time. So I may break this up into two videos, but I'm going to go in and feed my face now. And I'm not going to film any more of the ride home because this is going to duplicate where we just came. So anyway, see you guys in another video. Have a good one. Have a happy new year.